Hey guys, welcome. Wow, that was loud. Hey guys, welcome back. I am Nolan,
And I'm Joey.
and welcome back to another episode of the Blip Pod. Everyone's thriving and surviving in these interesting times. How are you doing, dude?
I'm not too bad. Just still trying to find stuff to do every single day, looking for jobs.
This is true. I'm doing basically the same thing, except I have decided to rewatch crappy's 80s movies in my free time while I'm doing other things, which is leading to, dude, I forgot how good, two things. I forgot how good Christopher Reeve Superman movies were because they're fantastic. Some of them are really, 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 really bad, but in an amazing way. And also the Back to the Future movies, which every time...
I've seen the first one a couple weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, I just saw it like 2 days ago, and it was... every time I watch those, I forget how good they are, and then I watch them, and I'm like, this is why I like this movie. Regardless, so we got a couple episodes coming up today. Right now we're going to do the news, because there has been some good comic book and movie-related news. Not too much, but everything's starting to rolling back into production, so we've got enough that we can do an episode on it. Then we have, you can check out our episode in the next couple of days. We're going to have an episode on the future of the DCEU, including the Snyder Cut and Henry Cavill's return and yakadakadakadak. And then after that, we're going to have an episode on the shenanigans going on at Marvel and their WandaVision plans. So, but without further ado, let's get into the news for these about last week or so. Okay, yeah, so I think we've got a couple bigger things this week. First off, HBO Max launched the 27th. So, was that like 4 or 5 days ago now? Yeah, but 6 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
You did not try it out. I did.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I got a free trial. I actually have to cancel my free trial. It's a good thing I just checked.
How long is it? 7 days?
Yeah, it's 7 days, and if I forget, I'd be charged like whatever, 15, 16 bucks, and I'm not doing that right now. It's basically, and we're not here to rate streaming services. I think they pushed this out a little too early because on the day of release there was a lot of problems, and it's basically just HBO with a couple extra movies. But then 2 days ago, which is 4 days after the launch, they then dumped 120 new films on. And I'm like, what? I don't understand why you didn't just do that the first day. But
maybe you said that it crashed early on, right?
they were just there were the apps, people's apps kept crashing when they're trying to watch stuff like on their phones or their tablets. So it's like a big network stuff, yeah.
Well, maybe they didn't want to release 120 new movies because they wanted to test the server, since a lot of people are going to be joining the first day, and if they had 120 more movies on, it might have been worse than it already was.
That's
so maybe
true.
they had to maybe they had to test it out, fix those kinks within the first few days, and once they had that settled, then release those movies.
I feel like they should have done that beforehand. It's neither here nor there because it looks like eventually it will become a very good streaming platform. And to be honest, I mean, we've talked about this before, and we actually did a project on it. But this should be a hit out of the park. Like HBO
Max,
Max,
have a lot of good. They got a lot of good stuff on it.
They have kids stuff, they have young adult stuff, they got adult stuff, they got a comic book section, they got cartoons, they got adult cartoons. They basically cover all forms of entertainment, even more so than stuff like Disney Plus, which is mainly, suited towards either Marvel, Star Wars, or kids. Those are basically the kind of three subgroups that they kind of cater to. So I feel like HBO Max should have been a big hit out of the park. We'll have to say, been watching Silicon Valley on it, which I'd never seen before. That show's very funny. So my recommendation for a show that's already ended.
HBO Max has Adventure Time, right?
Yes, I don't believe I.
Oh well, I'm sold.
They do have. I don't know if we talked about this before. They did release the trailer for the new Adventure Time movie. Or one of
yeah,
the
I've seen
movies.
that.
With I have not seen Adventure Time, so I'm probably BMO.
Yeah, BMO.
Okay, good. I was very scared that I was going to butcher the name.
BMO.
I like that. It's almost like an anthology series with the side characters.
Yeah, so it's like four. It's supposed to be 4 hour long episodes.
Yeah.
Two. The first two connect, and the second two connect.
That's a very good idea, and I think that's the best way you're going to continue a franchise like that, where it's a not a kids TV show, but a kids based TV show that's already been kind of cut
especially it had a very good arc throughout the entire series, and the ending was really good too. So
yes,
just making sure that they don't screw up the ending.
Okay, so in other news, movie related news, we have Disney World is reopening.
Woo! Except we're not going to be going.
No, we're not going to be going, unfortunately. I feel so. What was it? Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom are the 11th of July. Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge are opening the 15th of July.
In Epcot.
And Epcot, sorry. I've not been to Disney World, actually, so I don't have too much to say about this in general. But I'm glad stuff is opening back up. There'll probably be precautions. I do. That being said, I do hope everyone is safe and no one gets sick. And that I'm hoping that them opening back up, something like this doesn't get people sick and stuff. But it's good to see that we'll have more stuff to do, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm not supposed to be going to Disney until next summer, so I really don't care about when they reopen back up. All I care about is construction reopening, because the next summer is the 50th anniversary, so they had so much new rides and attractions planned to open up, but I'm not sure how long the construction's been delayed, if they're not going to open up in time, which I'll be very disappointed, especially the new Guardians of the Galaxy coaster, because that seems like it's going to be amazing, and I don't want to miss that.
I feel there's a chance it might go the other way, because I know just being up here where I am, it's there's construction now that like everyone's on kind of less people are outside. They have construction going on the roads 24/7. Like they repaved the entire highway, and repainted the whole damn thing. Excuse my French. The other day, while I do my like daily walk to make sure I keep exercising. But like every single day, so much new construction gets done.
Well, yeah, I know during the entire quarantine, just local construction never stopped. They never stopped it. But I know Disney stopped theirs for at least a couple weeks. I don't remember seeing anything saying they resumed, but they probably did. And Universal in Orlando never stopped. They kept going. So I hope Disney only stopped for like a couple of weeks and started back up again, because and also they could do it more because they have no one in the parks, so they don't need to worry about doing it just at night or hiding it from the guests.
I have a feeling that if they did resume construction, it was after they cleaned the park down, because I mean, Disney World obviously attracts people of all ages from all over, and then people touch everything. So if there is one place that's gonna spread a contagious disease, it is going to be a theme park, I feel like. So it makes sense that they shut down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, other news that we're actually going to get this, we're also going to get to this in our thing about the future of the MCU, specifically WandaVision. Daredevil goes back to Marvel in 6 months, as of yesterday.
Woo!
I have 2 thoughts on this. First of all, I hope they don't recast.
Well, they've been saying, there's rumors going around saying that they are going to keep Charlie Cox, but then in an interview he said that if they're starting up Daredevil in the MCU, I was not aware, so it must be with someone else. But you never know, because you never know their secrecy, especially with Ian McGregor. He knew for 4 years but didn't say anything. So
here's my one thing.
Who knows?
Here's the one thing I have a feeling they haven't factored him into the long-term plan, because they came up with like the long-term plan, like 2 or 3 years ago or some crazy number, like for the next 10 years of the MCU. And at that time, Netflix still had the rights to Daredevil and was still going to make TV shows. So I have a feeling that even if they are going to do something with him, he's definitely going to be on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope he shows up. I think Charlie Cox is a phenomenal actor, and he does an amazing job in those series, and I would just love to see him in other stuff. And then we'll talk about, obviously, in a later episode, we'll talk about the timing of his re-entrance, what that means for these Spider-Man movies.
Well, there also was rumors too about if there were any Netflix superheroes coming to the MCU, the two that they would not recast is Punisher and Daredevil.
Oh, 100%. I think, honestly, Punisher even more than Daredevil. Because Punisher is an easier guy to just, like... He doesn't need an origin story. At all. You can just throw him into basically any universe and then be like, he's gonna kill everybody. Let's go.
I feel like he could have an introduction like Black Panther had an introduction to the MCU.
Yeah, where it's just, hey, they exist, they have for a while, deal with it. Which I think, especially this far in, is kind of the way to go. Because I loved, in Civil War, when Black Panther shows up, just amazing. Like, it was like, oh, yeah, it makes sense that he's here, and it makes sense that he's hidden, but now he's just showing up.
And also, you have the Disney Plus shows to introduce characters now, too, so...
Bingo. So there's less of a push on the actual movies to introduce people.
Yeah.
In other news, Evan Peters has been cast in the WandaVision Disney Plus series.
Interesting.
I don't think they'd bring him back as Quicksilver.
No, it would be his son. Her son. You have Wicked and Speed, right? Is that
yes?
I know one's Yeah, so he would probably be her son because they already had a Quicksilver in there, and that was her brother.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like he's gonna be her son.
I feel
another speedster.
There's also a chance he just might be a different character entirely.
Or he is Quicksilver, but it starts the multiverse thing going into Doctor Strange.
Here's the only reason I think that the MCU is hesitant about recasting is because the minute, and you know this is true, if he show up as Quicksilver, the only thing that they are going to hear until he dies is, where is Hugh Jackman? You know that's the only, they'll be like Marvel movie
he's a
grosses.
lot younger.
Yeah, that's true, but it will be like, Avengers 5 grosses $200 billion, and the only review in this comment section will be like, excuse me, Hugh Jackman wasn't in it, so I refuse to go. Honestly, that would probably be me. I would probably be that review. So I can see why they would kind of lean away from recasting. And then then the question would be asked, like, why wouldn't you bring back people like Patrick Stewart, or even younger people like, Colossus from Deadpool, or Cable or stuff.
Or even, if they could even have the guy, I forget the actor's name, but he played the young Professor X.
Oh yeah, James McAvoy.
Yeah.
I feel like there's also, and we forget because everything's so big in conspiracy theory-wise, there are a lot of really good actors, but there's only so many really good actors, and it's the reason that the DC, the EU, or Worlds of DC, or whatever in the hell they're calling their thing nowadays, and Marvel share so many actors, and they do share a surprising amount of actors, is that when you get a good actor, even if they've been in another thing, you're also just getting a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, there were rumors about the DC universe trying to bring in Robert Downey Jr.
I'm not going to lie to you. I love the DC.
I think that would be bad for them. They in their mind, they're like, oh, big actor, everyone loves him, people are going to want to watch, but people are going to watch a DC movie and see Iron Man.
The only way they could do that is if he was, like, first of all, the exact opposite, and either a voiceover or under a crazy amount of prosthetics or CGI. Like, you know what I mean? That is the only way they could reasonably pull that off without... And DC, I like the DCEU movies, especially some of the newer ones, but they have a problem of there's so much backlash no matter what they do. If they do, happier things, people get angry. If they do darker things, people get angry. Because for some reason, people are just like, this is not my DC universe. Whereas Marvel just kind of laid down the law early, like, this is what we're going to be, so kind of suck it if you don't like it. And then people got on board. Yeah. I think I actually had not heard that, and now that you say that, that is terrible.
Yeah, so, I hope they don't end up doing that. Especially they should just go down the route that Marvel is, especially with the X-Men. They want to do it completely different, and they want it to be their own thing. So that's why I don't think they're going to be using a lot of the same actors. Maybe just, like, one person at most.
Yeah, kind of a figurehead sort of thing. Also, there are so many good up-and-coming actors nowadays that you have the pick of the litter.
Joey Harris.
Yeah, you have... You said that, I went, who's Joey Harris? My brain did like an IMDb search on who the hell Joey Harris was. Like, literally my brain...
Well, you don't know him?
No,
IMDb. You'll see nothing. First movie.
Oh my
Avengers
goodness.
Secret Wars.
My brain literally, I don't know why, but like the search window for IMDb popped up in my head and typed in Joey Harris. I was like, what else is B been in? A couple good podcasts I've heard. Okay.
Couple good TikToks.
He's a TikTok celebrity. You're booming on TikTok right now. So if people want to see Joey Harris's sorry, I didn't expect you to say that. Okay. Oh, good lord. What? There was something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So you brought this to my attention. So you can talk about this. Sam Raimi and his
the Spider-Man stuff. Oh yeah. So this is so they interviewed Sam Raimi about him being the director for the Doctor Strange movie, and he said when he originally made his Spider-Man, he had in mind of wanting to do a crossover with Doctor Strange the entire time, so that's why he name dropped him and he's kind of setting up for it a little bit, but then he didn't think it was going to happen, so he started laying off on it, but now he got the opportunity and he wished he developed it more to have a better crossover, but he is planning on in the movie having, or he at least wants to have a crossover with all three of the Spider-Mans in the film and have them meet and interact with each other, and eventually by the end of the movie have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man die to say goodbye to his Spider-Man now that it's over and we have a new one, so he just basically kissing not kissing like putting his baby to rest, you know?
I think I'm of two thoughts of this. First off, people have this works. I know people people are always like, oh, the DC universe might be a multiverse, and then they can eventually collapse in on each other. The problem is people aren't used to that. The one good thing one of many very good things Into the Spider-Verse did is kind of brought the general public up to the idea that there was a Spider-Verse, as there's always been in comic books. So I think they could easily do this without getting worried that your everyday moviegoer is going to be confused on why Tobey Maguire is. Here's my thing, though. I don't think they'd bring Andrew Garfield back. I also don't think they should. Here's my reasoning. First off, the guy has won Oscars and is going to cost so much money. Second off, people didn't love him as much as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I liked the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but it's not the nostalgia of when I see like the intro sequence from the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, even talking about it right now, just thinking about it, I'm getting like, goosebumps, because it's like that was the childhood for so many people, especially this generation, is you grew up on those movies.
Yep.
So I think if they brought in Tobey Maguire to be kind of like a Uncle Ben-esque figure for the existing Spider-Man, they would smash it out of the park. They would make so much, like an unbelievable amount of money.
It's a fan pleaser, because even after the Spider-Verse movie came out, everyone wanted to see a movie with all three of them together. And even though you're saying you don't think they would bring back Andrew Garfield, I think I would personally like it better with him in it than without him. Because if you have all the three leading Spider-Mans from the movies in one movie, especially even if it's just for like 10 minutes, I'd absolutely love it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would love having him in the movie. I am worried about two things. One, it might be a little clogged if you're going for the emotional payoff of the Tobey Maguire things. And two, it's like, would the Amazing Spider-Man is like the only sort of rival to the MCU Spider-Man, if that makes sense? Like, Tobey Maguire's was put to bed well before the MCU. And Tobey Maguire kind of jumped off. But there are still weirdly people that are like, oh, I wouldn't mind to see a continuation of the... Because I know when they were talking about the, what is Jared Leto's new one? Why can't I think of it? Morbius.
Morbius?
Yeah, like people were like, oh, maybe Andrew Garfield will show up in that. So I think it's a little too much competition.
Well, apparently Sony and Marvel are actually playing very well together, and it seems like they're actually trying to incorporate both universes together more than they were ever before.
Billions of dollars will do that for you.
And also, what I'm thinking about, if they do a crossover with all three of those Spider-Mans, I think the best way they can do it is because both the original Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man, both of them ended off with a death. So It was right after Harry's death, and he was at the funeral, and then it ended off with Gwen's death, and he's at her funeral too. So wonder if they bring them both in through the the multiverse portals come up right after both their deaths, so you have two broken characters, and just this entire universe opens up to them.
Yes, I think that would actually work very well for Andrew Garfield. That being said, I would like if for Tobey Maguire, maybe have him a little older, like he's been Spider-Man, kind of like. Not an exact copy of the Into the Spider-Verse one, but the guy has been...
Different generations?
Yeah, like the guy's been Spider-Man for 20 years now. He's a little bit broken down, but still going at it. And he's kind of got that Tobey... That being said, Tobey Maguire, that dude does not age.
Paul Rudd?
Yeah! I'm like, here's the thing. Paul Rudd looks like an adult and has done for a while. Tobey Maguire looks like he could be my brother and has been for 40 years. Like, that dude's like over 40.
I feel like that's how Tom Holland's going to end up too.
I think, yeah. It's Tom Holland looks... The fact that
Spider-Man effect.
Dude, the fact that guy's older than me, it's like, oh boy. And I have... You know this. I have a relatively baby face, but not to the extent of that, dude. Okay, last couple things before we wrap up the news section of this thing. James Gunn, late 2021 release for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yay.
I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and even though I think the first one is better than the second one, I think that James Gunn is a good writer when it comes to these characters, and I am just generally excited for this. Like,
who wouldn't be?
Exactly.
Especially it's supposed to introduce a lot of new stuff to the MCU too, moving forward.
My guess
so it's going to be an important one.
My guess is it's going to close the book on the Guardians of the Galaxies as we know them, and then introduce a new style of cosmic adventures.
Well, rumor has it there's possibilities that Rocket dies.
I think that would hurt me more than any of the other characters.
That movie is supposed to revolve mainly around Rocket. It's supposed to be Rocket's story.
Yeah.
So
that checks out. I will have to say, everyone in those movies are just so good. Okay, last bit of news. And I'm saying this multiple times because we've saved the best for last. In my
what is it?
Humble opinion. Okay, you probably know what it is. Henry Cavill is rumored to... He's officially in talks, but has rumored to already have signed on to remain and reappear in the DCEU.
As Batman.
I don't even joke about that. I will kill you. I will go Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck, Batman on your ass and kill you. No. Apparently,
do
you bleed? You will. Apparently, I heard this today, though. I'm obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, I grew up on Superman to an amazing extent. The library, I spent a lot of time in the library as a kid, and they always had the old Superman comics, but also the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman films. So I'm like, Joey, you are obviously a Captain America guy. To a strong extent. I'm by that much of a good degree the Superman kind of guy, and I think Henry Cavill is a fantastic actor who just needs his moment as Superman. A little bit disappointed rumor has it that he'll serve as a kind of Mark Ruffalo Hulk sort of deal, where instead of getting his own solo movies, he'll just co-star in a lot. Yeah. Which I feel like...
I mean, I feel like they do that because they're just so they're like so overpowered that it's hard to keep on putting good content for someone that powerful and not having lower graded characters with them.
That makes sense, honestly. I think there is another rumor though that J.J. Abrams is official. This is official. J.J. Abrams has signed on to make a multi-movie series, specifically series, just going to be with the same character, for DC Comics. Allegedly, he actually used to, when he was starting out, he did pitch a Superman movie that got shot down. I have a feeling that in a couple years, after Henry Cavill kind of works his way and everything else, they might give him more solo movies.
Maybe. Hopefully. He deserves it.
They do. And the one good thing about comic books like Superman is that he doesn't... The guy, J.J. Abrams is a great director. And it's not like Rise of Skywalker where that wasn't totally his fault, especially for the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff, where a lot of it was he made a decision and then the studio second-guessed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he made Force Awakens, which we both like. So the guy is obviously, and the Star Trek and a bunch of other stuff. So the guy's obviously a great director. So I'm excited to see what he can do with an existing canon where they can't kind of pull the rug out from under him.
Well, I think this would be better for him to do DC than Star Wars because you have Star Wars, which is already highly appreciated and loved. So the only thing you can do is make it flop and have it go down. When DC is already kind of lower, and the really the only thing you can do is just make it better. You know
what? I didn't even think about that. You're right. Any content at DC is good content right now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the last sort of semi-news is that the Snyder Cut has been officially set. The Snyder Cut of Justice League has been officially set to release on HBO Max in 2021, which is way later than I thought. I think we had this conversation a couple months ago. I assumed they would release it on the HBO Max release date.
Yeah, it was because it just got approved.
Yeah, I feel like they should have jumped on. We'll talk about this later, but I feel like they should have...
They said it's like a 4-hour cut, too.
Yeah, there's rumors that it actually might just be split into 4 30-minute kind of episodes. That's totally a marketing ploy. Like, release one weekly, and then to watch the movie, you have to sign up for a month. But I think... Do you got any other news?
Nah, I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
I know it posts some little news snippets on Instagram.
Yes,
stuff.
Check out Joey moderates our Instagram, which he does a fantastic job, and all the news. Every day you got new news and tidbits and facts. So if everyone, we'll kind of start to wrap this up. If anyone wants to check out our Instagram, it's at @TheBlipPod. So is our Twitter and our Facebook. I don't think I've ever logged into our Facebook. We have one though, so if anyone wants to be in charge of it.
All our Instagram uploads to Facebook.
Yes. Oh yeah, that checks out then. On YouTube, we're both the Blip Pod and the Blip Bros. If you want the longer form one, go to the Blip Pod. If you want short form videos, go to Blip Bros. Am I forgetting anything?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
In that case, have a... Wait a second, I gotta do a Henry Cavill Superman voice. This is what I've been training for my entire life.
Misa.
Yes.
Is that Superman?
That's the reason they hired J.J. Abrams, is that it's going to be revealed in the...
Oh, wait. I have one more bit of news.
Oh, yeah, go.
One more thing.
What do we got?
So there's this new... They were going to have this on Disney Plus originally, but they want it to be available for kids to watch for free. So they're going to have like a YouTube streaming thing where they're having this game show for kids called Jedi Hidden Temple or something like that.
I saw this, yes.
And the guy who played Jar Jar Binks is hosting it.
Good for this guy. honestly, because
Well, he said that he almost committed suicide because of the hate he got for his character.
I think we could spend 10 hours talking about kind of toxic fandom. If you have a problem with how a character is written,
The writers and director.
And even then, it's probably not them. There's a good chance it's also the studio or just powers beyond their control. So please do not tell another human being to kill themselves over a character they just wanted to buy. Like, in the long run, the guy got offered a role in Star Wars as the first CGI character ever. And if that wasn't good enough...
How can you say no?
Yeah, how can you say no? And you need a paycheck to live.
Yep.
You need to do a job. So please, this is our Blippod PSA announcement of the week. In the amid of just everything that is happening, please be nice, and please do not tell another person, especially over something like a movie series, to end their own life. Because in the long run, it's a 2-hour movie.
I'm sure you could go through a 2-hour movie with. Maybe it's 2-hour movie, but with that one character, it's probably like 20 minutes.
We're not going to get into it, but it's like just that'll be our sign off from now on. We'll be
hashtag save Jar Jar Binks.
Not that, but we'll do that one too. That I'm not going to put myself in the line that much there, but I'm not going to take that. But just everyone stay nerdy and positive. And without further ado, I think that's the end of this episode. So check us out on all the social medias we mentioned early. I am Nolan.
And I'm Joey.
And stay nerdy and positive. Peace.